Hey guys, today's video is going to be a tutorial on a fall makeup look using the new Colourpop whatever eyeshadow palette. This is like the perfect fall eyeshadow palette and it's super affordable. It's $18. I also have a code with Colourpop for $5 off. I'll leave it in this video so that you guys can use it if you're interested in buying some Colourpop products. It's gonna be more rusty orange, a little bit of gold, but more on the rusty orange side. I did post a photo on it on Instagram, got lots of requests to do a tutorial, so that's what I'm doing today. So let's get started. First thing I'm gonna do is prime my face. Today I'm gonna be using my Fenty Beauty True Matte Pro Filter, not foundation, primer. This has been a favorite primer of mine. I used it in my previous video. Just gonna apply this to my face. Think it's time to call it quits. The kitchen tap is broken. For foundation today, I'm going to be using the Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue foundation. This is in the shade 122 medium tan. I like to apply this using a sponge. So I'm going to use the Dose of Colors sponge that they launched with the foundation. I'm just going to apply this to my forehead and pounce it on. It takes about 1.5 pumps to get a coverage that I really like. Now we can move on to the eyes. For my eyeshadow primer today, I'm going to be using my Urban Decay Primer Potion. This is in the shade called Caffeine. I'm just going to blend this out with a brush. This is from Firma Beauty. So for today's eye makeup look, I really wanted to go for a more traditional, simple eye look rather than a really precise cut crease or halo eye. So I'm gonna start off with a burnt orange matte shade in the crease. This is called Pass It On from the Colourpop whatever palette. I'm gonna take this on a fluffy brush. This is the Sigma E40, and I'm just gonna be doing windshield wiping motions and also a little bit of circular motions as well, bringing this all the way up to the brow bone like I usually do. I'm going to take this shade called Copycat. It's a little bit of a lighter tan shade. I'm going to use this to blend out the edges of Pass It On. The shade I'm going to go in with is this one called Bad Guy. It's kind of like a berry shade. I'm going to take this on a Sigma E25 brush. I'm going to use this to deepen up the crease, and I'm also going to bring this to the outer V. Think it's time to call it quits. The kitchen tap is broken. Drip, 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 drip. Dirty dishes in the sink. We've been laying here for weeks. We're not talking anymore. It's like we're scared of trying. To add a bit more depth to the look, I'm using the shade called Miss Brightside. It looks like a dark brown, but it's more of a dark brown purple type of shade. So I'm going to use this to deepen up the outer V. It's just going to kind of bring in a little bit more darkness to the look. I'm gonna use my Morphe M4433 brush. So I'm not gonna take it right out to the edge of the outer V. I'm bringing it in a little bit more. And then I'm also going to blend this a little bit below my actual crease as well. I'm gonna go back in with that Bad Guy shade and then kind of blend around the dark brown purple shade that we just applied, just to bring in that little bit of berry back into the crease. For the lid, I'm using this shade right here called Not Okay. I like using my fingers to apply this on. I just feel like the color payoff is a lot better that way rather than using like a shader brush. So I'm just gonna pat this onto the lid, bring it out to where we applied the darkest shade. And then what I like to do after is take the darkest shade that we use, which is Miss Brightside, and just kind of blend that in with that lid shade very softly, just so that it's not like totally obvious that we just applied the lid shade right next to it. Just want to blend it in together. And that's basically it for the eyes. I'm just going to curl them now and apply some falsies. For my lashes today, I'm going to use my Huda Beauty Noelle lashes. These are my favorite. I'm going to finish off the face now. I'm going to go back in with my Dose of Colors foundation and apply that with the beauty sponge. It's time to call it quits. The kitchen tap is broken. Drip, 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 drip. Dirty dishes in the sink. We've been laying here for weeks, weeks, weeks. We're not talking anymore. It's like we're scared of trying. So different from when we started off. Now we're just like, think it's time to call it quits. Gonna take my LA Girl Pro Conceal Corrector. This is in the shade Peach Corrector. I'm just gonna apply this to my under eyes to correct those dark circles. Something I've been doing lately, actually, just because I've been watching a few YouTube videos and everyone has been talking about how they leave their under eye correctors and concealers to dry out a little bit and then blend it out. So I've been doing that lately and I really like it. So I'm just gonna let this dry a bit and then I'm gonna blend it out with my sponge. For concealer, I'm going to go in with my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Ginger. Same process, just going to apply this under my eyes and let it dry out a little bit. And then pat it in with the beauty sponge. So usually I would bake under my eyes and then start bronzing, but I've recently gone back to cream contouring, and I feel like I have phases where I prefer just powder, and then I'll go back to a cream contour and I'm just like, why haven't I been doing this before? So I'm back to cream contouring. I'm using a Iconic London foundation stick. This is in the shade 3.2, just a tad darker. Just going to apply this on my forehead. And for me, I like to actually blend out in sections, so I'll apply it to my forehead first, go back in with my sponge and blend it out. Mind my like ripped sponge, by the way. I don't know how, but when I wash my sponge, like my nails get into it and I end up like ripping it apart. It's like I should be more gentle, but I guess I'm not gentle enough. Okay, so I'm just gonna finish packing my under eye just because it creased a little bit, and then I'm gonna bake after. So I'm just gonna go in with a powder puff and bake my under eyes. Down here as well. Let that sit for a few moments. I don't know, for me personally, I don't like going in and bronzing while I'm baking. I'm not sure if it's just me or what, but I just feel like it doesn't look as nice and blended when I do it. So I'm gonna wait for this to bake for a few seconds, and then I'm gonna bronze after. Okay, so I'm gonna let my under eyes bake a little bit longer. I already wiped off the powder on the center of my forehead and my nose. Today for bronzing, I'm gonna use the Fenty Beauty stalk'r bronzer in Caramel Cutie, and using my buildable cheek brush from Smashbox, I'm gonna just bronze the forehead. Gonna wipe off the excess powder under my eyes now. And then we're gonna go in with that buildable cheek brush right here, and going to bronze up the cheeks. Loving you was such a bliss, bliss, bliss. We're not talking anymore, it's like we're scared of trying. So different from when we started off, now we're just like Okay. I like to do my blush after bronzing. Today I'm going to be using Colourpop Super Shock Cheek in Underclassmen. This is also a part of their Call It Whatever collection. I'm going to use my Luxie tapered highlighter brush for this. And then for highlight today, I'm going to be using my Laura Mercier Face Illuminator. This is in the shade called Addiction. And I'm going to use my Anastasia A23 highlighter brush. So let's finish off the eyes, because I did smoke it out. What I'm gonna do is basically use the matte shades that we use, except for the darkest one. I'm gonna use that to lightly align my lower lash line. So first shade I'm gonna use is that Pass It On shade, the matte orange, burnt orange shade. We're not talking anymore. It's like we're scared of trying. So different from when we started off. No, we're just like, think it's time to call it quit. Then I'm gonna go in with Bad Guy, that berry matte shade, and also apply that on the lower lash line. And then finally, for the last shade, I'm gonna go in with Miss Brightside. And this is just going to line. I'm just gonna go as close as I can to the waterline itself, just to darken it a bit more, but not too much. Okay, and then I'm just gonna finish off my lashes with some mascara. And then highlight the inner corners, which I'm going to use the shade called Tardy right here from the palette. The texture is different. It's kind of squishy. I don't know if you could see like the indentations that I made. Yeah, I don't know how to describe it. It kind of reminds me of a Super Shock shadow a little bit, like the texture wise, but I don't know. Just gonna apply this on the inner corner of my eyes. For lips, I'm gonna go with the nude lip that I wore in the photo. For lip liner today, I'm gonna use the Carli Bybel and Il Makiage collab. This is the lip liner in Bybel. For my lip color, I'm going to use my main from the Dose of Desi Katie collection. And then finally, the gloss. This is the Colourpop Ultra Glossy Lip in Lesson Learn. Also part of the Call It Whatever collection that they launched. We've been laying here for weeks. We're not talking anymore. It's like we're scared of trying. So different from when we started off. No, Alright guys, that completes today's makeup tutorial on this fall makeup look. I hope you guys like it. I would say it's pretty easy, just a simple traditional eye makeup or eyeshadow look. I will leave my Colourpop code in the video, also in the description box. All products that I use will also be in the description box. What else do I have to say? I think that's all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching and telling me to film this video, because I was wondering what to film this weekend and a lot of you guys asked for this. So thank you guys so much for your support, and I will see you in the next video, which hopefully won't come out. It won't take that long to come out. Yeah, bye.